That is a snack pack. Hey everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome back to Abby's Kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace, and we will be reviewing teen lifestyle YouTuber Caroline Manning. But first of all, I want to talk about my sponsor, Squarespace. So a little story time, but I remember when I started Abby's Kitchen way back in the day, getting the website going definitely seemed like the biggest hurdle. I just did not even know where to start. But when I'm coaching new bloggers today, they feel so encouraged that services like Squarespace make it so much more intuitive and easy. So if you're not in the know, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform for any website, blog, or online store. There are so many amazing features between blogging and commenting, social media, and e-commerce extensions for those who sell products, of course, online. I have been so blown away by how easy and simple they pull together all of those hard parts of getting a business or passion project off the ground so that you can really just focus in on what you do best. So if you're interested in getting started, you can check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AbbySharp to save 10% off of your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, and super quick before we dive in here, you can pause this screen or you can look in the description to check out my general disclaimer, including a trigger warning, as in this format, we will be looking at some nutrition stats. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring that little bell so that you never miss out on a future video. Okay, folks, before we even get into things, I want to just preface this review by flagging that I don't think I've ever reviewed anyone as young as Caroline on my channel. As a teen YouTuber, my approach is going to be a little bit different and a little bit more nuanced because I want to be extra careful and cautious to protect the integrity of what I see as a really solid relationship with food. Now, if I already were seeing a lot of evidence of diet culture, my intervention would probably be shaped a little differently. But because things do look good on that front, and I will talk more about that later, my goal here is to target some more gentle nutrition strategies that are realistic for a young girl like Caroline, who maybe is not likely fully in control of her own meals. In the real world, these recommendations would be communicated also to the family and not just to her as the teen. But let's take a look at her day. Actually, first, I need to interject. So I shot this video over a month ago, and literally a few days before it launched, Caroline uploaded a new What I Eat in a Day. And let's just say I am a little disappointed at the direction things have gone. I had been feeling pretty excited that, maybe I had some faith that this generation may be able to reject the diet mentality. But now I'm a little worried. So in her recent video, Caroline eats a protein shake, a banana, a Cliff Bar, raspberries, a Kind Bar, and some popcorn. And then for dinner, she has some kind of like snack pack of some salami, cheese, and pretzels. That's it. That is literally it. Now, I'm not going to review this in detail because, well, there's not that much to review here, but I am going to say that it is obviously deficient in pretty much every nutrient, including, of course, calories. This is only maybe 1,200 calories tops, and I know that I just said that I was witnessing Caroline's good relationship with food, and I do appreciate that there isn't any explicit demonizing of foods in her latest video, but this is just not enough food for a growing, active girl. These are snacks. This is just snacks. I didn't really see her eat an actual full meal, and ultimately it's just not enough. So I'm throwing it back to her October What I Eat in a Day, where we had a lot more food to work with, in the hopes that all of you watching, and hopefully she as well, can take something away from my suggestions. All right, back to the original video.
I do try to eat kind of healthy, I guess, but eating foods that I like. And I think that's really important as well, to just find what you like and not limit yourself, especially if you're young and stuff.
Hell yes, girl. But you should also be able to eat what you like even if you're not young. Not to sound like an offended old lady, but I do get what she's saying. Obviously, when you're young, your metabolism is faster, your energy needs are higher, and you're probably not worrying as much about what foods put you at risk of like heart disease or cancer or stroke. But we can still think about balancing those fun foods with foods that help us feel our best, and that's where gentle nutrition really comes in. But I do have to say, I mean, watching this girl's videos totally reminded me of my youth and how like eating used to feel before I started thinking about what society had deemed as healthy. I don't know, it was like a nice trip down memory lane for me pre-diet culture. And I think that we can all channel this teenage or childhood mentality around food whenever we find ourselves going down that road into scarcity mentality.
I like to wash my hands every morning before I eat breakfast just because I feel like it helps me feel sanitary, and also it's an excuse to use my new pumpkin Bath and Body Works soap.
I mean, that is definitely a good habit to get into. I mean, even pre-COVID, the CDC definitely recommended washing your hands before you handle or eat food. So yeah, hand washing definitely gets a big thumbs up from me. Let's see what she's eating.
So I start off by eating this whole grain, really healthy cereal from Trader Joe's, but it tastes so good. Whenever I try new cereals that are healthy and they taste gross, I never buy them again, but this one is so good. Once I'm done making my cereal, I pop some of these Trader Joe's naturally flavored blueberry waffles into my toaster oven, and you guys, these are so good. These waffles are literally the best things ever. Typically, I'll eat a banana as well for breakfast, but we ran out of bananas, so I cannot do that.
Okay, so Caroline talks about how most healthy cereal tastes bad to her, so I am glad that she found an option that she really likes. So this one from Trader Joe's has about 3.5 grams of fiber and protein per cup and 12 grams of sugar. So this certainly isn't a bad option, but just for reference, basic yellow box Cheerios, which are 100% whole grain but not marketed as multigrain or healthy or anything like that, actually has 4 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein and just 2 grams of sugar. I only make this comparison not to demonize Trader Joe's O's, but I bring it up because words like multigrain often carry what we call a health halo that makes food seem more nutritious than they actually are. So I'm just kind of saying, don't be fooled by really good marketing. If you have certain health goals in mind, when you're choosing a cereal or any food for this matter, always look at the nutrition label, not the name, to compare things like fiber, protein, and sugar content. And of course, choose a cereal that you actually like, not just one that sounds really healthy. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make here. Now, all that being said, because this meal is relatively low in protein and low in fiber and healthy fats, and also pretty high in sugar, I mean, it's got about 40 grams of sugar to be exact, we could focus on some little additions to really bump up the nutrition without compromising on enjoyment. So we could add in some Greek yogurt and fruit to the cereal, and we can add some like nut butter or smashed up berries to the waffles. Now, I actually watched a more recent What I Eat in a Day from her, but I chose not to showcase that day since she didn't really give any information on her dinner meal. But I do want to take a look at how she actually tweaked her morning meal herself. So let's take a peek.
I have my Arbonne chocolate protein shake and then this Chobani vanilla Greek yogurt mixed berry. I've been trying to like minimize the amount of sugar that I would have because I would have the same 2 waffles every morning, which is filled with sugar, and then pour like so much syrup on top. So this is like the perfect balance, I think. I get all my nutrients in the morning, and then I can also get some fruit in here, and I honestly might get like a banana or an apple or something to eat as well.
Okay, so now in this updated What I Eat in a Day, she definitely has a lot more protein going on. She's got a protein shake and also some vanilla Greek yogurt with fruit on the bottom. But since Caroline seems so enthusiastic about her original cereal and waffle breakfast, I wouldn't want to take that away. And I also would never want her to associate carbs with being bad or something that she has to avoid. So we actually could meet kind of somewhere in the middle. Now, even if her original breakfast was higher in sugar than what she wanted, I think there's definitely room to add back some fiber-rich carbs like some fruit or some whole grains. And I also wouldn't count the fruit in a container of yogurt as a serving of fruit. I mean, there's actually very little real fruit in those, and while super delicious, they actually have around 14 grams of added sugar, which again, I actually think is totally fine in the context of this breakfast, but we still would want to see some more fiber-rich whole fruit in there as well. So like I said before, we could do the cereal from breakfast 1 with the yogurt and then add in some whole fruit on top, or she could do the waffles that she likes with the protein shake on the side. As for the Arbonne product, the protein shake, I don't know, I'm gonna save that little rant for an entire Arbonne expose video. So if you wanna see that, leave me a link below. But I will just say that any protein powder will do. It does not need to be from an overpriced, overhyped MLM. But anyways, it is really nice to see some modifications as Caroline just kind of figures out what is working to serve her body best. All right, let's go back to the original review day.
I will take my daily medicine for the morning. I've been taking these 2 pills over the course of quarantine. I feel like I've noticed such a difference. The 2 things that I take are biotin and B12. Biotin helps support healthy hair, skin, and nails, and B12 helps support the nervous system function, and it helps convert food into cellular energy.
I mean, yes, that is true. That is exactly what my Nutrition 101 textbook would describe as the physiological roles of these 2 nutrients. And, while I would say that yes, B12 is a nutrient of concern for a lot of North Americans, not just those who are vegetarian or vegan, FYI, but biotin, not so much. As I discussed in depth in my Sugar Bear hair video here, a review of the literature on the use of biotin for hair growth suggested that unless you have an actual deficiency, which is most often linked to some sort of genetic or underlying health cause, supplementing with more biotin isn't going to help your hair likely. And severe biotin deficiency in healthy individuals eating a generally balanced, healthy diet is virtually non-existent. So she could probably save her allowance and skip that supplement right there. Let's take a look at snack.
On the bottom, I put these yogurt pretzels that are my favorite snacks ever in the whole entire world. Please go to Trader Joe's, do yourself a favor and buy these because they're so delicious. Then on the next tier, I put some chocolate coconut almonds. I'm a huge fan of almonds and coconut and chocolate, so these never disappoint. Then on the third tier, I broke in half this organic raspberry mini bar that I got from my local grocery store called H-E-B. And these are super healthy and really good for you because they have quinoa and chia seeds. And then finally on the top tier, I put a Baby Bell Light cheese.
Oh my God, I am low-key obsessed with this snack tower. I would totally buy this for my toddler and then secretly steal it for myself if, I don't know, we ever conquer COVID and I get to leave the house one day with a snack tower in tow. Anyways, we definitely have some fun snacks here. I see some carbs in the pretzels and the cereal bar and the chocolate. We got a little bit of fat in the almonds and a little bit of protein in the Baby Bell. Now again, a quick note on yogurt pretzels. These are legit one of my favorite sweet and salty snacks of all time. And the Trader Joe ones are so good. But again, I want to flag the health halo status. Just because they have the word yogurt in the title doesn't mean they're actually made with real yogurt. In fact, the first ingredient in this product is cane sugar, not actual yogurt, and a serving of 6 twists have 18 grams of added sugar. Again, totally fine in moderation and one of my personal favorite snacks, but often these health halos give people the drive to eat snacks like this in excess while swearing off something that they maybe like more, like chocolate-coated pretzels, and they see that as the bad option. And that often is how scarcity mentality starts. Substituting a food that you love for food that you think that you should eat. I'm not saying that this is what's happening with Caroline. She may just totally love them like I do, but I am flagging this as like an FYI for you folks who are watching at home. Now, I do notice that we're having a snack, but not an actual meal here. And skipping meals in favor of just having snacks is actually a pretty typical pattern for a lot of teens. But not fueling your body with regular satiating meals can often cause sugar cravings later on in the day, since we're looking for those quick hits of energy all day long. So for Caroline, I would really suggest building this into a bigger, more substantial meal with a little bit more protein and healthy fat on board. So if she wanted it to be handheld and convenient like the snack tower, we could throw some roasted chickpeas or some dry roasted nuts into the snack tower, and then maybe pair it with like a wrap or a sandwich with some nutritious veggies and a really nutritious spread like hummus in there. Let's take a look at what's next.
My post-workout snacks are probably my favorite because that is when I'm so hungry and all I want to do is just eat some fruit. Then I went ahead and picked out an apple that I liked, opened up my fridge and looked for the fruit that I was craving for the day, and that happened to be raspberries and strawberries, which are my favorites.
Okay, so normally fruit is a great nutrient-dense snack choice if you're feeling like something light, especially if we're going with like a higher fiber fruit option like an apple or berries. But because Caroline specifically just finished a workout and she didn't really have a full meal before working out, I would definitely want to beef this up with a source of protein. So she could throw those berries into a protein shake or serve them on top of some Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, or she could pair the apple with like a couple of hard-boiled eggs. So again, it's not about taking food away. It's really just about adding something to help boost up the satiety factor and the nutrition. Let's move along to dinner.
And today we are having spaghetti and salad with strawberries and apples, butter lettuce, pecans, apples, strawberries, and then cheese. I made this chai. Usually I drink my chai cold, but I bought these packets from H-E-B.
So this looks like an awesome balanced dinner and totally something that I would make at home. So we've got protein and fat in the beef, pecans and cheese, lots of fiber-rich carbs from the pasta and fruit, and then a nice variety of colorful antioxidant-rich produce as well. It's a simple, accessible, classic family meal that I'm sure definitely hits the spot, and also a recipe that would be really great cooking inspiration for a lot of her teen young viewers. All right, lovelies, we have made it through dinner. Let's talk about the stats. And a trigger warning, I am gonna be talking numbers, so of course feel free to like skip this piece if it's triggering to you. So my best estimation is that Caroline is consuming around 2,000 calories with about 54% of calories from carbs, 34% from fat, and 14% from protein. So all of that is within the American Pediatrics Association recommendations for really growing active teens. So nothing majorly concerning right there. She is a little bit low in some key nutrients, most notably iron and vitamin D for a growing teen. And as she already alluded to herself, her diet does contain more added sugar than what she herself says that she would like. So most health authorities recommend no more than 6 teaspoons or 25 grams of added sugar per day. Now in this day at least, Caroline was getting around 5 times that amount. Now, if I'm being honest, when I was a teen, I totally did the same. So I am hesitant to even bring it up because I don't want any teen watching to go cutting out carbs. Teens are growing, like they're active, and they actually need a lot of carbs to thrive. So I mention this not, I repeat, not to suggest that Caroline cut back on carbs.
I love bread.
But there's a difference nutritionally between the types of foods that contain a lot of added or free sugars and foods that contain whole, naturally occurring sugars. So whole food sources of carbs have their sugars bound up with healthy fats, fiber, protein, and micronutrients. So this is really where we want to focus getting the majority of the carbs in our diet. These are the foods that are going to give us better energy levels and overall nutrition. And since Caroline herself brought up the fact that she was trying to reduce her added sugar intake, I want to shed light on some simple little tweaks to help her do just that. But before I do, let's talk about what I'm really liking here. So I think Caroline is doing an awesome job planning snacks that satisfy her physical and emotional needs. She's likely eating enough calories and not omitting any food groups that may leave her more susceptible to nutrient deficiencies. After watching some of her other What I Eat in a Days and vlogs, I would say that her meals and snack ideas are easy and accessible for other teens. And honestly, for a busy teen, she's got a good balance of convenience foods and homemade meals. I love that she was involved in preparing the dinner meal with her family, since getting into the kitchen and honing those culinary skills is actually one of the best strategies to inspire healthy eating and a balanced relationship with food in young adults. So I say a big yay for home cooking. Now let's talk about some tiny little tweaks that I would suggest help Caroline achieve her goal of reducing the added sugar in her day. Now I want to reiterate that I am not advocating for any kind of low carb diet here. Nor do I think that Caroline should restrict or cut out or avoid any of the foods that she loves. In fact, I don't even think that she should change the proportion of her diet that is coming from carbs. It just comes down to choosing foods that will help her feel her best. So if she wants to optimize her energy levels, we could try to incorporate a few more fiber-rich whole food carbs into her day. So my main suggestion would be to aim to get an actual sit-down lunch meal instead of just another snack on the go. That change alone would likely help her meet those micronutrient needs and also balance out the added sugar in her day, especially if we can include a source of iron-rich protein like beans, legumes, eggs, tofu, meat, nuts, or seeds, which would also help her meet those really high iron needs for teens. I also would say, just enjoy the carbs, but let's try not to let them be naked.
Hey, naked.
What are you?
So if you remember from my video on PCOS, naked carbs are just kind of what they sound like. They're a source of carbs at a meal or a snack with nothing else to beef it up. But by pairing that carb with protein or fat, or at least choosing a higher fiber option, we'll see more stable energy levels and better staying power. So let's add nutritious foods to the carbs and not think that we need to just cut them out. I also want to talk about Caroline's relationship with food. Now I have to just say it is really refreshing to see a normal teenage girl eat like a normal teenage girl. Sure, we could probably all agree that yogurt pretzels are not as nutritious as yogurt and blueberry waffles are not as nutritious as blueberries. But I'm just happy to see a young girl with a profile as big as hers on the internet not promoting some kind of bogus cleanse. So this kind of content is really important for young girls and boys to watch. In fact, this is exactly how I used to eat before diet culture got a hold of me. And I wish more young people could just relish in this outlook on food a little bit longer. Or for life. But honestly, this is such a delicate age, so I do want to encourage Caroline to focus on those little changes that help balance out enjoyment with what feels good in her body and gives her the energy that she needs to do the things that she loves. Don't let diet culture tell you that you shouldn't eat sugar at breakfast, but if you find that your energy is waning by second period at school, let's try to find some strategies to help bulk that up. This is really what gentle nutrition is all about. Honoring your body and your mind and doing so in the most sustainable, kind way possible. I'm just gonna pop back in here again to reiterate that I am saddened by the latest What I Eat in a Day video. I am really hoping that this was an off day and that Caroline isn't slowly whittling away at her intake because, between working out and cheer practice that day, the girl needs her calories. Now, it is not uncommon for teenagers to graze their way through the day, but I really would like to see her prioritize some balanced meals back into the mix. So this is my gentle nudge to Caroline, whom I really do hope can find a happy medium between listening to her body about maybe consuming excess added sugar and fueling her body with enough calories and energy to grow. Adolescence is not the time to be undernourishing. So folks, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you liked it, give me the thumbs up. leave me a comment below on some other YouTubers to review. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!